Okay, first of all, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate, so please leave it down below. There's no problem. You have my blessing. Second of all, this is just my opinion, and my opinion is that Moonlight is overrated and it kind of sucks. And here's why. First of all, let's just address the big elephant in the room. One of the things I hate the most about Moonlight is not the movie itself. It's all the politics that surround it. Because you're not allowed to say anything bad about Moonlight. Otherwise you can get like backlash for it, right? It's kind of like the Ghostbusters movie. You still remember that. If a guy, any guy, gave it criticisms, then all of a sudden he's a sexist. If any girl gave it criticism, then she's not part of the movement, the feminist movement. Can a movie just be judged by itself? When it comes to Moonlight, I don't like the movie, but it's not because of the skin color of the people playing in the movie. I love 8 Mile, the movie. I love South Compton, the movie. I like those movies. It has nothing to do with that at all. So whenever I criticize something, all of a sudden I'm not in the little bandwagon that everybody wants to jump on. Because that's the second thing, right? If you don't like this movie, then you're in the out group. If you're in the out group, you're not part of the cool kids. Because all these movie reviewers, they say it's good. So when they say it's good, all of a sudden it's good. And I like Chris Stuckman. I like watchamovie.org. I like Ralph Makes Movies. I like all those guys. But just because they have an opinion on something doesn't mean I have to agree with them. Because when I watched the movie, I got something different out of it. Now before we continue, I have to say this. I didn't hate the movie. The movie is pretty well made. It's not bad necessarily, and I would recommend you watching it. It's not horrible in any way. It's good, but it could have been a lot better. And for something that won an Oscar, I don't know why it won the Oscar, other than the politics that surround the movie itself.
And though I grew up to deal drugs, my childhood friend still gives me hugs. My cultural identity's a complex topic. It's not easy being black or gay, or having a mom who's on crack. It's a good true story. Oh yes, that's one good reason. Emotional complexity. Yes, that's another reason. Mahershala Ali. Those are the reasons Moonlight won.
Probably the worst part of the entire movie is the first 5 to 7 minutes of the movie. That intro is horrible. It is horrible. I'm sorry. We can have a difference of opinion with this movie, and I completely understand if you either want to jump on the bandwagon, or you just truly believe that it is a great movie, or you resonate with the movie like I do with some other movies that people don't like. But that intro was horrible. The acting was garbage. And I've asked some people about this, and they all agree with me. I'm not saying people have to agree with me for it to be right. I'm just saying that that intro was horrible. For an Oscar-winning movie, nominated at the time when I watched it, it is just not good enough. You cannot tell me that it only had like one take to work with in the editing room. Isn't there more to choose from? Didn't it take like 2 or 3 or 4 shoots and then they picked the best one and that's the one they picked? I mean, honestly, those guys were gangsters? Are you kidding me? It looked like a bunch of guys went to the cinemas to watch some sort of gangster movie, right? They got out of it and they were like, wow, that was pretty good. That was really entertaining. Those guys are tough. And then they tried to act like those guys in the movie. That's what it was like, to me anyway. That's what it seemed like to me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but the intro was so bad that it actually left a bad taste in my mouth for the rest of the movie. And before we continue with all the bad in the movie, I just have to say that the middle part of the movie was probably for me the best part. The whole, he got bullied storyline. That was probably the best. Especially the climax of the second act of the movie. That was by far the best of the film. And I actually really enjoyed that. And I really want to follow his story instead of going to when he was an adult. Because if you haven't watched the movie yet, the movie is broken up into 3 categories. One where he's a young boy, one where he's a teenager, and one where he's an adult. And when he's a teenager, that was probably the best part of the entire movie. For me, in my opinion, personally. Okay, now that's the other part of the movie that really brought it down for me. Listen, I watch a lot of pretentious movies. I'm the guy that in the comment section would say film instead of movies. I watch pretentious movies. I watch Drive. Drive is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Drive. I watch Only God Forgives. It's not that great, but it's still okay. It's still good. It is very pretentious though. I'll admit that. It's very pretentious. But what I'm saying is I watch a lot of pretentious movies. So I know a pretentious movie when I see one. And oh my word, this movie is so pretentious. Like I could barely get through it. There were parts where I wanted to like just skip through it, you know what I mean? Like it's just get on with it. It's this thing where literally the camera would like pan on a guy and he would just like stand like still and like just get on with it. Just get on with the story. Okay, we can see your facial expression. We're not stupid. Why must the shot be there for like a minute to see the emotional impact that is brought upon this child or upon the people? We get it. Okay, just move on. There's no symbolisms. They're just trying to create like a mood or something, right? But it takes forever to get there. Every time the story kind of gets going, right? They do this thing again where they bring the tone down. And it gets so boring and repetitive over time. I couldn't stand watching the entire movie. And it's a long movie as well. And it could have been so much shorter if they just did this. It would have been more impactful for me personally. This entire video is just my personal opinion on it. Because it's something I kind of wanted to talk about. Even though I know it's an unpopular subject. So I'm going to end off with this. The movie for me wasn't that great. If it didn't have maybe that big of a buzz around it, maybe I would have enjoyed it more. Maybe it's because it's so overrated in my mind that I hate it so much. Or not really hate, just dislike it in some degree. Maybe if there wasn't so much buzz around the movie, I would have enjoyed the movie a lot more. There's no way to know now. It was super popular. Everybody loved it. I guess except for me. But that brings us to the end of the video. Listen, I totally understand. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this video. And that's totally fine. But this is something I've wanted to talk about for a long time. And you know what? It's better to get it out there, out in the open. So feel free to criticize me. Feel free to tell me why the movie was so great. Because I watched it, and I watch a lot of movies like this. A lot of slow burners. A lot of symbolic movies. But this movie was just, well, kind of boring. And even though there were parts that was pretty good, and parts I did resonate with, for the most part, overrated. Okay guys and gals, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, liking, sharing and caring. If you want to leave a comment down in the comment section below, trying to incorporate this key phrase into your sentence. Agree or disagree, it is completely up to you. Just remember, this is just an opinion. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.